It began as a bright, peaceful morning in Arkansas, the kind that felt ordinary and full of promise. The Duggar family home was filled with laughter, the sound of breakfast chatter, and children's voices echoing through the halls. Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar were preparing for another busy family day, while the youngest of their large family, Josie Duggar, was excited for a small weekend outing with a cousin. No one could have imagined that before the day was over, the Duggars would face one of the most frightening moments of their lives, a moment that would remind them just how precious life truly is. Born on December 10th, 2009, Josie Brooklyn Duggar entered the world far earlier than expected. Weighing just over 1 pound, her life began as a fight against the odds. Millions of 19 kids and counting viewers remember those early days. Michelle Duggar standing beside her incubator, praying through tears for her tiny daughter to survive. Josie did more than survive. She thrived. Her story inspired thousands, symbolizing faith, endurance, and the power of prayer. As she grew, her laughter filled the Duggar home. She loved baking with her mom, helping animals, and playing music with her siblings. Despite the family's fame and public scrutiny, Josie remained the innocent heart of the household, always joyful, always curious. That Saturday was supposed to be simple, just a short drive to a community event with her cousin. They sang along to the radio, shared jokes, and talked about school. But halfway along a rural road, the unexpected happened. A vehicle nearby lost control on a curve, forcing Josie's car off the road and into a shallow ditch. The sound of screeching tires startled nearby residents, who quickly called for help. Within minutes, emergency teams arrived and assessed the scene. Miraculously, Josie and her cousin were shaken but safe. Both were taken to a local hospital for observation, and doctors confirmed that aside from minor bruises and shock, Josie was unharmed. The Duggars, who rushed to the hospital upon hearing the news, could barely hold back tears of relief. Michelle later said, "When I saw her, I just held her and thanked God. We've always known she's a miracle, but that day, he reminded us again." News of the incident quickly spread, but so did messages of support and prayers from fans all over the world. Social media was flooded with posts celebrating Josie's safety and praising the family's enduring faith. Jim Bob shared a short statement online. "We are so grateful to the Lord for protecting Josie and her cousin. Life is fragile, and today we were reminded to never take a single day for granted." At church the following Sunday, the Duggars expressed their gratitude publicly. Michelle's voice trembled as she said, "We've seen miracles before, and we saw one again this week. We don't know what tomorrow holds, but we know who holds tomorrow." The close call changed the family's outlook in subtle but profound ways. The Duggars began encouraging others to be cautious on the road, often sharing reminders about safety and thankfulness during family interviews. Josie herself spoke about the experience later, saying she felt protected and loved and wanted to help others going through scary times. The family also launched the Josie Duggar Foundation for Premature Babies, continuing their mission to support families with children born too early. Michelle said, "Josie's life began as a miracle, and every new day reminds us that miracles still happen. We want to share that hope with others." Months later, the Duggar family posted a YouTube video titled, "Grateful Hearts, Our Miracle Still Shines." It showed clips of Josie smiling, drawing, helping in the garden, and playing piano with her siblings. The video ended with Josie saying softly, "God is good. Even when we're scared, He's right there." Fans from around the world flooded the comments with love and encouragement. One viewer wrote, "She's grown into such a strong young lady. Her story continues to inspire so many." Life after the scare. The family has continued to heal and grow. The once quiet home is again filled with laughter, music, and the chaos of everyday life. Every December 10th, they celebrate Josie's birthday with joy and gratitude, baking her favorite cookies, singing her favorite songs, and reflecting on how far she's come. Michelle once said in an interview, "When Josie was born, we didn't know how long we'd have with her, But God gave us more time than we could have dreamed, and every moment is a gift. Today, Josie's story is one of faith renewed. From a fragile newborn fighting to breathe to a young girl who survived a frightening accident, she continues to represent hope and strength. Her journey reminds us that life can change in an instant, but faith, family, and gratitude can carry us through anything. As Jim Bob said at a recent family gathering, we've learned to hold our loved ones tighter, drive more carefully, and thank God more often. Josie's life is proof that miracles don't always come once. Sometimes they come again and again. Little Josie Duggar loses her life in horrific car accident. Duggar family in deep shock. A quiet morning turned into chaos. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. For Duggar family latest news update, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. It was a bright, peaceful morning in Arkansas, the kind of morning when life feels ordinary and safe. The Duggar family home stood still, the sound of birds in the distance, children's laughter echoing faintly down the long driveway. Nothing hinted that this day would become one of the darkest in Duggar family history. Inside, Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar were preparing for another busy family day. Josie Duggar, the youngest and once fragile miracle of the family, was cheerful and excited about a small family outing with a cousin. No one could have imagined that within hours, the family would receive a phone call that would change everything, forever. The miracle child. Josie Brooklyn Duggar was born on December 10, 2009, 3 months premature. Weighing just over 1 pound, she was tiny, fragile, and fighting for her life. Her birth was a miracle that captured the attention of millions of 19 kids and counting viewers worldwide. For months, Josie lived inside the NICU at the University of Arkansas for Medical Sciences Hospital. Every breath she took was a fight against impossible odds. Fans remember Michelle Duggar standing beside her incubator, tears in her eyes, praying for her baby girl to survive. Against all expectations, Josie did survive. She grew stronger, bringing hope not just for her family, but to every parent who had ever prayed over a sick child. Her story became a symbol of faith, endurance, and love. As years passed, Josie blossomed into a bright, playful young girl. She loved drawing, baking with her mother, and playing music with her older siblings. Every Duggar fan knew her as the miracle baby who made it. Growing up in the spotlight, Josie grew up surrounded by cameras. From the moment she came home from the hospital, TLC's cameras documented her every milestone. Her first smile, her first words, her first day of school. Being the youngest of 19 children meant Josie was always surrounded by love and laughter. Her older siblings often took turns helping Michelle care for her, and the family's bond seemed unbreakable. But being in the public eye wasn't always easy. Over the years, the Duggar family faced numerous scandals and controversies that tested their image and faith. Yet through it all, Josie remained the family's symbol of innocence and resilience, a living reminder that miracles could still happen. Fans often commented on how much joy Josie brought to her parents' lives. She had Michelle's gentle heart and Jim Bob's adventurous spirit. She loved animals, often sneaking snacks to the family's cats or trying to nurse injured birds back to health. The day everything changed, it was supposed to be an ordinary Saturday. Josie was traveling with a cousin, heading into town for a small community event. They laughed, played songs on the radio, and talked about school. But tragedy has a way of striking when least expected. According to early reports, the car they were riding in was driving along a rural Arkansas road when another vehicle, a speeding pickup truck, swerved into their lane. Witnesses said it all happened in seconds. There was a loud crash, glass shattering, metal twisting.
By the time emergency responders arrived, the scene was devastating. The small car was mangled, the front completely destroyed. Josie had been sitting in the back seat, wearing her seatbelt, but the impact was too severe. Paramedics worked desperately to save her, performing CPR as they rushed her to the nearest hospital. Despite their efforts, little Josie was pronounced dead shortly after arrival. She was only 15 years old. The call that shattered a family. Back at home, the Duggar family was preparing lunch when the phone rang. Jim Bob picked up, expecting it to be one of his older children calling to check in. But the voice on the other end belonged to a police officer. The room went silent as the word sank in. "Sir, there's been an accident." Michelle's face turned pale. The family's world collapsed in an instant. The miracle baby they had prayed for, fought for, and celebrated for 15 years was gone. Within hours, news began to spread. Friends, neighbors, and even strangers gathered outside the Duggar home, leaving flowers and candles. TLC issued a brief statement expressing condolences and asking for privacy for the grieving family. But nothing could prepare the Duggars for the wave of public mourning that followed. Across social media, fans poured out their heartbreak, remembering Josie as the tiny fighter who had defied all odds. A community in mourning, the local church where the Duggars had worshipped for decades became a sanctuary for grieving hearts.